Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So I got another one, as you can see on the screen. Glorilla, the one who didn't know that foxes were a real animal. That Glorilla is telling women that they need to be toxic in their 20s. All right. Just spend your 20s being toxic, because that's the best advice that we got going for young women. These are your thought leaders. These are the people that the machine, the entertainment machine, puts in front of specifically Black women, young Black women, to keep them in this foolishness. Right? I'm going to play the clip and let you hear the stupidity that comes out of this woman's mouth. Remember, she didn't know foxes were an actual animal that existed in reality. Do you understand me? Didn't know it. She wasn't trolling. She didn't know. But what we're going to do is we're going to let the clip play, and then we're going to come back and cook. Here we go.
Hey, ladies, how are you? I'm going to call my twin, and I just want to let y'all know, be toxic for the rest of your 20s. You only get one life. Live your toxic 20s. You never get to be 20 years old, 21, 22, 23, 24, none of that ever again in your life. Be toxic, because don't get in your 30s thinking you could just go slashing tires and doing all this crazy shit. You too old for that now. You too mature. Be toxic for the rest of your 20s. And if you delusional, turn this shit up a notch. Enjoy the rest of your 20s. You only get to do this shit one time. Hey,
Did y'all hear that foolishness? Be toxic in your 20s. Don't be thinking you can turn 30 and slash tires because you'll be too old for that. Listen, young ladies who might think that that little advice was cute or funny or anything of the sort, or you thought she was joking, or you thought that it was lighthearted. Life does not happen in a vacuum, okay? You don't get to do stupid stuff in your 20s and then suddenly magically in your 30s and 40s and the rest of your life, the stuff that you do in your 20s doesn't matter or it doesn't catch up. How about not be toxic at all? What about not toxic at all? Not be toxic for a time or be toxic in your 20s. Let me tell you about being toxic in your 20s. You do spend the next 20 years fixing it. When you don't fix it when you're early, when you're young in your life, when you don't fix that toxic behavior, when you don't address that traumatic behavior, when you don't address those coping mechanisms, when you don't address the things that's got you acting a certain type of way, when you don't address that stuff when you young, when you become an adult, you get to work behind the 8 ball literally almost for the rest of your life. That's what you do. That's just like a man telling a young man, join a gang, get tats, go to jail, all in your 20s, because in your 30s, you're not going to be a convict. And you're not going to have to worry about the convictions that you got when you were 22. And that's not going to catch up with you. And you'll be able to pick up the pieces of your life and move on and be successful, even though you've got like 3 convictions on your record. How stupid is that? How stupid is it to tell these young women to thought, bop, get ran through, have babies, do all this crazy stuff, get, catch cases because you slashing tires and busting windows and fighting and acting a fool? Because in your 30s, all of a sudden there's going to be what? Peace and happiness? Contentment? You're going to be a sane individual? Suddenly, when the clock strikes midnight on your 30th birthday, what you become happy and content and well adjusted? No. All of that foolishness that you did. You know them babies you have at 22 still around when you 32. You know that, don't you? They about 10 years old. And they still belong to you. And they still need stuff. It didn't go nowhere just because you and they baby daddy was a one night stand and you ain't think about him no more. Y'all better get it together. Listening to these idiots, these little thought leaders, be always setting y'all up for the fail. Always setting y'all up. So that when you do get in your 30s and 40s, you have absolutely nothing to show for anything in your 20s. We the only people that advise stuff like this. Everybody else is working hard in their 20s. Everybody else is going to school. Everybody else is trying to make entrepreneurships, build businesses, build their wealth, get themselves together. Every other demographic of people is trying to move forward except for you Negroes. Y'all listen to stuff like this and she think it's cute and funny to get on here and tell y'all this stuff. There are young girls that don't have no guidance in their actual life that'll listen to her and think that that's something that they should do. And then you got another generation of young women who is about 13 or 14 right now, who mama is a tramp, daddy not around, that'll sit and listen to Glorilla because she know all of them ratchet lyrics and she like her and she admire her and she'll think that this is something that she's supposed to take to heart to do. So what happens when she starts dating and when she starts being with boys and stuff? She gonna think it's cute to go through phones and fight and slash tires and fight the other woman and be delusional and all this other kind of stuff. Under the false understanding that when she turned 30, all of a sudden she gonna be sane. All of a sudden the stuff that you practice don't become a part of you. You ever heard the term practice make perfect? When you practice toxicity, that become a part of you. When you practice positivity, that become a part of you. When you practice foolishness, that become a part of you. Nothing like the good old lost value system to be teaching one another. And we perpetuate this stuff within ourselves. We got our little girls listening to this. You got grown women listening to it. Women older than her. But what I really want you to do is talk to the women that regret all that stupid stuff they did in their 20s. Or that it extended into their 30s. And now they 40, they don't have nothing to show for it. They in a worse situation. Never did get out of poverty. Never did get out of the welfare cycle. Never did get out of the rat race. Never did get out of the foolishness. They 40-some years old still getting the same treatment with boyfriends and men that they was getting in high school. Because their mentality has not evolved any further than that. Y'all better get this stuff together. Quit listening to these idiots. Just because she got a couple of dollars and a little ratchet hit record. That don't make her knowledgeable about nothing. Again, she didn't know foxes were real. And now she know what a whole group of women should be doing in their 20s. She got life advice. Please jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.